iHeartRadio Broadway, driven by Mercedes-Benz. The best or nothing.
Hi, it's S.J. Arniger for iHeartRadio Broadway. Today, I'm joined by two of my favorite performers, Nick Searley and Lauren Molina from the Skivvies. Join us as we talk about their upcoming album for the Rocky Horror Skivvies show and their exclusive music video. Nick, Lauren, aka the Skivvies, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having us.
Also, I'm just going to flat out say this is the weirdest feeling interviewing two friends. So, welcome to iHeartRadio Broadway.
We are honored to be here.
So, before we talk about all the amazing things that are going on with both of you, I like to catch up with everybody. How have you been during quarantine? How have you been facing everything? And just kind of how are you feeling right now?
I mean, that's a loaded question because quarantine has been going on for some time. And so it started like here and then it's gone, and now it's climbing up, little things dip down, but I feel like it's getting better and better as far as figuring out how to adjust to these wild times and, staying healthy and staying safe while trying to, not beat yourself up for being unproductive when you feel lazy and like the weight of the world is coming down on you, but then also taking advantage of opportunities of bursts of creativity and, and then wonderful collaboration with friends.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I was just talking about this the other day, the different phases of the pandemic, like how we started out, and I was actually looking at emails and I was like, oh, okay, so by the fall we'll probably be not doing this anymore. And then I feel like, so I was like I would read from 4 to 5 and do my puzzle from 5 to 6 and then have my drink from 6 to 7. Everything was just like, I could check the box and feel productive. And I feel like that just slowly escalated to, okay, I will write a song, and now I will release that song. Okay, now we will do an album, and like it just became bigger boxes to check to feel.
My favorite were the weekly texts from Nick going, "Do you need anything? Do you need me?" I'm available.
Wide open.
Have you guys been able to perform anywhere in recent weeks with things slowly starting to lift with outdoor performances?
Yeah, we had our first show in August in Saratoga. And we performed at a place called the Mansion of Saratoga, which set up an outdoor tent. It felt like an outdoor wedding, and we were the wedding band, but it was our party. It was super weird. I mean, Nick and I felt like we were having an out-of-body experience.
I actually got nervous. Like I truly got nervous to sing the songs we've been singing for 8 years. We had to rehearse, in fact, what? And just a week before that first concert, I went up here where I live near the Forestburg Playhouse, and they were starting to do outdoor theatrical concerts. And I was in the audience of Morgan James' concert, and I truly cried because I was like, oh my God, I forgot how to behave at a theater experience, like clapping. We clap. Yeah. And just things like that. And we actually had another virtual performance at Birdland that's still, I think, on sale, and it's a ticketed thing. Mm-hmm. It's called Radio Free Birdland, and we did a true Skivvy show with special guests. But it was interesting because like between the guests, we had to cut and sanitize the microphone and start back up. And it's new protocols that we have to adjust to these days.
I will say, everybody I talked to that has been able to do something. I was interviewing Tyler Peck, the ballerina, international ballerina, the other day, and she just did this whole concert. And I started to cry during my interview with her because I was like, I am so impressed with the people that just find ways to perform right now. So I congratulate you both on finding new ways to make music and make art right now, because it's just insane.
Thank you. It has been quite an adjustment. Like walking on stage in a mask and taking it off is so weird.
And also like you lose your muscles feel different, you know what I mean? Like just not singing every day, going from performing in a show to nothing, and and then like, oh, suddenly when somebody, like, we've been fortunate enough to have some theater companies reach out for some content, and so we've recorded some cool duets remotely and then stuck them together in editing. And it's just like, oh, right, that's what it feels like to sing out, Louise.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just been just like baby steps getting back into it. And it's been cool though. We've figured out some things to do, and we are really excited about Rocky Horror.
I will say on the part of the good thing about the pandemic, I will say, if there's anything good about it, which there really isn't, but I feel very rested.
I wish I could say the same.
Not emotionally at all, just I mean vocally.
Yeah, emotionally, yeah, not so much. Speaking of Rocky Horror, you guys have some really cool announcements that we're gonna make during this interview and make an exclusive announcement here. So talk to me about the Rocky Horror Skivvy Show and what's going on with that.
Well, so I guess we'll take it back a couple of years ago. We created the Rocky Horror Skivvy Show at Joe's Pub, and it was based on our experience essentially when we were Brad and Janet out at Bucks County Playhouse for all those years that they used to do it. And then we really wanted to make it our own. So we took the score to Rocky and we do our, like a Skivvies twist on it, which is making it a medley or mashup for each song, for most of the songs. And so this year we actually had it booked quite a bit to go all across the country before the world shut down. And then all of those places obviously aren't happening. All those venues canceled. So we were like, we've always said about the Rocky Horror Skivvy Show, this is the show we would love to preserve as an album. And so we were like, well, what better time to record an album, which is something you can do remotely, than now. So we took that energy that we were going to put into this tour and put it into the album.
So Lauren, talk to me about recording an album during COVID and quarantine. What are the challenges? What did being in a studio look like? What did that feel like to you?
Yeah, so we basically approached the songs with different like core members to lay down the bass tracks of the song. We wore masks, we wiped down the equipment. We started with ukulele and piano as like the start, and then later on the drums would add on, and then later on the cello would add on, and then later on the guitar. And so basically like different instrumentalists all put their pieces together and like sent them in, and then we had somebody mix them. And then for the vocalists, we were very fortunate to be friends with and utilize the talents of Debbie Jong, who is a musical theater performer, but she's also an incredible instrumentalist and went to school for sound engineering. So she mixed the album and helped sound engineer. And so she has a studio in her house. So we were able to use her space and not have more than, a few people in the room at one time and mask up. And fortunately, everyone was like testing negative for COVID and all that good stuff. So yeah, we did it in a way that felt really safe and really sanitized. I guess it was just like, it was weird to actually go to a place to work on something rather than in our own houses. Like when we finally were recording some of the vocals, certain vocalists, because for those who don't know, the Rocky Horror Skivvies show utilizes all different performers for the different characters. And so we don't have one Frankenfurter. We do have one Brad and Janet, which is Nick and myself. But, there were a few artists that were able to record from home too. So they sent us their tracks, and, the challenges were certain people's setups with their microphones weren't as great as others. And we probably should have checked that before, but it was only like a couple of little things with like pop filters. And, when people have their home studios, everyone's kind of figuring it out. So those were challenges in mixing to make it all sound cohesive with different people recording in different ways.
So normally with a recording session, it can take anywhere from a week to, 6 months, however long. Did you find that this lasted a longer period of time because of the restrictions of how you had to record?
No.
I mean, we set out to do this. I guess it was in mid-August. We started to have these conversations when we were like, I think this is what we should do. Was it August? I feel like, because we started recording at the end of August, early September, and then we had the band tracks pretty much down the first 2 weeks, and then we just started plugging everyone in from there. So I think we kind of worked at a rapid speed to get this out because we knew we wanted it out by Halloween.
I will say Nick's been sending me little sneak peeks here and there, and it's phenomenal. It's so good. And you guys should be so proud of yourselves for taking on this project during all of this mess. Talk to me a little bit about who we can expect to be on the album.
Great. Well, I mean, I think we also forgot to mention that we've never released an album. This is our debut album. So it was just like, it feels like the perfect blend of now and, the world is the Rocky Horror Show at the moment. So I think it's a great time to release it. The guests on the album, we can go down the list.
Please.
Yeah, so we start the album with science fiction double feature. We then have, let's see, Travis Kent, Diana Huey, Krista Rodriguez, Will Swenson, Nick Adams, Brittany Campbell, Marissa Rosen, Allison Frazier, Nathan Lee Graham, Christina Bianco, Tamika Lawrence, Michael Cerveris, and Alice Ripley.
So basically, anybody that has been in a Skivvy show from years past will be featured on this album.
There are 12 guests. That's a very large number for us. So wrangling everybody to do this album, including the band and people that also Rob Morrison and who's in this.
Sorry, I skipped him.
He's in Superheroes. He's the lead vocalist on that, as well as the electric guitar in the band. And Michael Kushner, who took the pictures and did the video as well. I mean, there was over 20 people that we had to sort of wrangle and schedule and make sure we got in where they needed to go.
Did anyone have any reservations being a part of this, or was it just automatic yeses to be a part of this debut album?
Yeah, it was automatic yeses unless they were unable to record at home or come to our place to record.
So let's talk about the music video that is also being released as a part of this exclusive interview. So it was directed by Michael Kushner, and just give us a little sneak peek of what we can expect from this music video.
Well, we really were excited to do something that involved inspiring people to get out to vote, because we really strongly believe in that. And it is a very wild time in our society and in our democracy. So the song Superheroes from Rocky Horror comes at the end of the show when everyone has been exposed to the shit of the world. And they're basically like, wow, they've seen all the horrible parts of it and their eyes have been opened. So we kind of took that, and in our arrangement, we mashed it up with Radiohead's Paranoid Android. So it's very emotional and evocative, and the song is really intense. And so we decided to put our own twist on it with the voting, kind of aspect by exploring Clark Kent as, working for the Daily Planet, seeing a headline of reelected, and then him crumpling up the paper, not to give too much away, but then throwing it up and it lands back in his hands and it says elected, and he kind of rewinds back in time. And then it's sort of a cautionary tale on, if you don't vote, here we will be with masks on, with a abandoned Times Square, with people feeling angry and with all of the potential things that could happen if, you know, Trump is reelected. Without saying
we can't give him any.
Sure.
Yeah.
I got to see the video the other day, and it's so beautifully shot, and it's so well done, and the arrangements with the music are so good. So again, congratulations on that. But I want to talk about what it was like filming that video in basically an abandoned New York City, Times Square. What was that like?
That was our whole point. I mean, it was really, we wanted to show a broken New York with broken superheroes. I don't think we mentioned this, but we are Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, as you'll see in the video. But we are broken in a broken place.
and the idea is that like even superheroes can't win. You have to vote. You have to take action. Superheroes can't save the day anymore, or couldn't now.
We only got kicked out of one location.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was in front of a theater. They were like, can't shoot in front of a theater. And we're like, it's empty. Okay.
It literally doesn't even have a marquee.
Yeah. And we were just in front of the door of it. Anyway, but you know, it was really cool.
We were like, okay, we just have to be prepared to be fast and dirty and get out of here if we get kicked out. Okay, here we go.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was wild. It is, you know, you obviously get some attention walking around Times Square in your Wonder Woman costume, in your Batman costume.
Well, I guess that's
but at the same time, you know, those people who pose for pictures, we saw a Wonder Woman or a what's her name? It's not Captain America. It's the female version of that. Anyway, she has a shield.
And another Batman.
Sure.
So, you know, we took that opportunity to include them in the video as well. And so there's some cool footage of us interacting with the Times Square Batman and Wonder Woman, Captain America. I can't remember her name, but it was, yeah, it was really, it felt like you could feel the intensity of like the words and what we were saying as we were just like, you know, recording and repeating, and just like also the prop that we had that actually said re-elected, like was so evocative, and just to see those words, you're just like, whoa, this is intense. And to like see it in Times Square, like the heart, like New York City, it's just, this shouldn't be happening, you know?
Well, and I was going to ask with, you know, the Times Square characters that we all know are already out there. I know we don't have that many tourists in the city, but I was curious if there was any sort of issues with having new characters on the street while these other characters are trying to make money.
No, we didn't really run into that, I don't think. We did see the naked cowboy and we went the other way.
No, actually the Batman wanted photos with us.
Yeah.
He was like, ooh, ooh. So who knows?
We paid him $5.
Mm-hmm.
We thought this was also interesting because when we were talking about what the idea for the video could be, which we really did talk about like the week before we shot it. It was very fast and dirty, quick, and I love the way it turned out. But it's interesting because what I remembered about our conversation was that when I saw the revival of Rocky Horror in 2000, 2001, whenever that was, I remember when they did superheroes, they took that last verse and put on the screen, the movie screen, Brad and Janet, which were Alice Ripley and Jared Emick. And they went out in their floor show costumes into Times Square, a very busy Times, like super busy, bustling, it was right before 9/11. So it was like just bustling with tourists. And it was when the Virgin Megastore was still there. So there's shots of the two of them because that's part of the Rocky Horror stuff. And she's Janet, I remember vividly in that Virgin sign in the background and everyone laughing. It was a huge laugh in the audience of the night that I saw it. And so when we were discussing this, I was like, we both were like, oh my gosh, it's paying a little bit of homage to that, but completely opposite because of the world and where we are 20 years later.
So the music video, did you shoot it in one day total?
Oh yeah, 5 hours.
3 hours.
Talk about fast and dirty. You weren't kidding.
Yeah.
Okay, so with the album's launching on
this weekend. So this weekend, yeah. On digital platforms this weekend.
And then the music video, which we are using as an exclusive, is going to be in the embed to this article. So you will be able to watch it for the very first time on iHeartRadio Broadway, but it will also be on YouTube on the Skivvies YouTube page.
That's right.
So again, congratulations. I applaud you guys for making art during this insane time and creating something for you both, but also creating something for your fans, because I know how much people love your Joe's Pub show, and this Rocky Horror Skivvy show is so beloved by your fans. Congratulations for all of that.
Thank you.
So what's next? I know you have this album, which has been a beloved thing for you guys to work on, but what's next for you both?
I would love to do, making this album, we haven't even talked about it, but I would say making this album was such a joy of something we love so much. And I love our holiday show too. So I also know we've never recorded our classic, our standard arrangement. So I am down to record, especially if we're shut down, as long as they say we're going to be. I don't foresee us slowing down in this department.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it was mentioned, but our crowdfunding we reached our goal in 3 days. So I know that there is interest.
And I think, again, people are clamoring for art. They're clamoring for things that bring joy right now. And I feel like you guys bring joy with your show anytime you do your show. So I say record everything you've ever done, because it's definitely needed right now.
I will say that.
Thank you.
Thank you. And also, this video is not joyful, surprisingly, for the Skivvies. I sent it to my sister to watch, and she was like, oh, I was so excited after a long, hard day of work. And then I watched it thinking it was going to be hilarious. And then it was like, oh. And so just be prepared for a little bit of the more intense side of the Skivvies.
I mean, wait, your mom, Lauren's mom, left a voicemail with the review. She was like, she left it, it was a message that was just, she felt, she felt
had a tightness in her chest when she watched it.
Punched in the gut.
The thing is, we all feel this way. We all are going through our own like PTSD from the 2016 election, and we are all feeling the effects of what COVID has done to our industry and society and friends and family. And it's like we, not to mention, the Black Lives Matter movement, throw that one in there too. People are just the social injustice that is rampant in this administration and in our society that's come to light. It's all so much, and it's fatiguing. So we all can relate to that feeling, and I think it will give some catharsis.
And again, I think people are clamoring for joy and for taking this election out of it. I know that's such a big part of what we're all feeling, but again, you both in your music bring joy to people. So I hope that you guys get to perform outdoors, get to perform indoors, and make more music, because literally, I think everyone needs just a little bit more joy in their lives right now.
Thanks. I agree.
Okay, so with that said, the music video is launching today when this video goes live, and the album will be released this weekend. You can find it wherever streaming music is found, including the iHeartRadio app. So please go out and listen to this album. I promise you, you will not be disappointed, and it will bring a smile to your face. Lauren, Nick, thank you so much for joining me today, and I wish you both nothing but the best.
Thank you so much, SJ.